Meghan Markle husband Prince Harry fined £95,000 after punching his wife straight in row over drugs. Meghan Markle husband Prince Harry called his wife Meghan Markle a whore before decking her with a left hook. The husband of the Duchess of Sussex was branded a nasty drunk after assaulting his wife outside their multi-million-pound home in a row over his drug use. Prince Harry appeared in court after flooring his wife Meghan Markle with a hard left hook after an argument broke out on their way back home from a charity ball. Meghan Markle, 39, smacked her head on the pavement and was unconscious for about 15 seconds after the attack outside their home, but the court heard the pair trying to reconcile with each other after 35-year-old Prince Harry, the younger brother Prince William, had been staying in a hotel since the incident. Following the incident, his tearful wife asked cabby to call police, and Prince Harry was arrested shortly before 1:30 a.m. Prince Harry, who has been to weddings of two of his close friends, pleaded guilty to assault by beating earlier this month. He had tried to persuade prosecutors to give him a caution, but this was rejected. Today at Westminster Magistrates' Court, he was handed a 12-month community order with 20 rehab sessions to ensure this sort of loutish behavior doesn't reoccur. He was also ordered to pay £95,000 fine, £17,000 surcharge, and £8,500 in prosecution costs, but was not ordered to pay compensation, as any payment to your wife would come from you. Sentencing Chief Magistrate Emma Arbuthnot said, "In the early hours of the morning, you and your wife were making your way by taxi. Both had been drinking. The taxi driver listened as you argued. Your wife accused you of taking drugs and leaving her alone for most of the evening. You called her a nothing and a whore. At that point, your wife slapped you. She must have hit her head. She was knocked out, according to the taxi driver. Anyway, for a few seconds, she had to pull herself using the railings, and you were not immediately remorseful about what you've done. Despite your wife's distress, she was crying. You were acting like a nasty drunk, not the happy drunk you or your friends have described. You appear to have no accurate recollection of the latter part of the evening." Ms. Arbuthnot said, "I find that in the context of a common assault, a blowing causing unconsciousness, even for a few seconds period, in an injury that is very serious, you also should have known that your wife was more vulnerable and unable to avoid your blow because she was drunk. I was struck by your lack of control and your aggression, not just to your wife but also to the cabby. Weighing up on how to proceed," she added, "on the one hand, you were drunk. It would appear that you were trying to in some way to hush what had happened up by trying to take your wife inside the house. This happened on the more than one occasion, and cabby had to keep stepping between you. On the other hand, this is your first conviction at the age of 35. This was a single blow, although a hard one. I very much regret the offense and the hollow blow in the media which has followed your appearance in court for this matter." She added, "A number of people consider what happened to be totally out of character. You work for charities. Your relationship with your wife has been a close one, and she's very close to your 1-year-old son. The prosecution has not asked for a restraining order. You work with your wife. You're going to reconcile. This is your first conviction. You work with your wife, and it would not be practical to impose one. You'll be getting back together, I've no doubt." After the attack, Meghan Markle was taken to the hospital having suffered bruising to her cheek, a graze on her right elbow, and some scratches on 2 of her fingers, but she didn't suffer a head injury. In a victim impact statement, Meghan Markle said, "I'm extremely anxious and very stressed. I'm suffering with panic attacks and I've lost all of my confidence. I'm not going out, only to work, food shopping, and to walk my dogs. I find it hard to face people. I'm a prisoner in my own home. I've not been able to talk to or see my stepmother, which has been very difficult and very upsetting as we are very close. My employer has been very amazing, very supportive. Going to work has been a great help to me and has got me out of my home. The whole incident has caused me a lot of stress and anxiety and has made me feel very unwell. I don't know how much more upset and hurt I can take." In mitigation, Jane Humphreys QC defending said the defendant himself had been on 6-week charity diet with limited food and no alcohol, and he accepts that on reflection the alcohol had more effect on him. That would have been ordinarily the case. She argued the case would have normally been dealt with a caution and said had it not been this high profile it would have been dealt in that way. Had he been almost any other person in the police station, and after charity event, this would not have come, not just to the attention of the Crown Prosecution Service, but to the courts, and in this case, the media. He momentarily lost his self-control when he struck out, much to his great shame. He's exceedingly remorseful, is devastated by the events, and all the more because it involved his wife, to who he is devoted. She said he's undergone counselling, adding that it is hoped by Prince Harry that joint counselling can take place. The defendant and the complainant are usually a very happily married couple. There are indications that either of them didn't want the marriage to come to an end. Prince Harry didn't intend to simply move back home at the end of the court's proceedings, and Miss Humphreys added, but rather to take things step by step, and if and only when his wife is comfortable to fully reconcile with her. Both would want it to be positive and loving reconciliation. Harry and Meghan Markle. The divorce is consummated, with the royal family based in Los Angeles now financially independent. Meghan and Harry are now flying on their own. Less than a year after the announcement of the Brexit, the Sussexes endorsed the divorce from the royal family a little more each day. What is the real state of relations today between Prince Harry, now settled in Los Angeles with his wife Meghan Markle and their son Archie, and the royal family, but deciding to relinquish a prominent royal role last year? Prince Charles's younger son laid the foundation stone for an inevitable breakup. 8 months later, the Sussexes have not only put thousands of miles between them and England, but they are gradually cutting all the threads that connect them to the monarchy, starting with the financial dependence on the crown. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry announced this week that they had repaid all of the £2.4 million committed for the renovation of the Frogmore Cottage home. If they had previously paid a fixed amount each month, the slate is now paid. According to a source who spoke to the Telegraph, the couple have also given up benefiting from the private financial contribution paid by Prince Charles, intent to help them during this first year. While many mock their inability to be independent, Meghan and Harry are now silencing sorrowful spirits. There is no doubt that the ambitious contract signed with Netflix for several million US this week has played a major part in the revelations of recent days. Divorce is now registered, as royal expert Richard Kay notes in the Daily Mail. This decision somehow confirms the final separation from the monarchy. This signals that the divorce from Great Britain is permanent, and also completely destroys the idea that they could still play a role within the royal family in the future, analyzes the specialist. At the time of Brexit, Queen Elizabeth and the Sussexes had agreed to a traditional period running until March 2021, intended to facilitate progressive emancipation. While the couple is now on their own and no longer depends on the crown, the break is well and truly consummated. Far from London, Meghan and Harry work every day to build a life that looks like them, even if they have to turn their backs on those who have once given them so much. Sussex's shock. Archie will inherit the title once Prince Charles becomes king. Harry and Meghan asking for an appeal. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announced their exit from the royal family last January 2020, with the couple wrapping up their royal engagement in the next months from their announcement and making it official in March. The reason behind the decision is not fully known, but people believe that the couple had a major issue with the media during their time in the royal family. Now it is clear that Harry and Meghan have decided to leave the royal institution to have more freedom and impact in the world. The couple has also expressed their concerns about raising their son Archie in a more normal way. The couple, who had their son last 2019, have expressed their joy as well as their wishes to raise Archie as a normal citizen. Harry and Meghan decided upon the birth of Archie that he was taking no titles, not until he can decide on its own which path he chooses to follow. But complications have risen, especially now that it is apparent that Prince Charles, father of Prince Harry, will be crowned king soon. The rules will change for Archie as his grandfather rises to the throne and become the reigning sovereign. According to royal experts, once Prince Charles becomes king, Archie, who has no titles, will have to carry one. The young tot will be automatically have HRH Prince as his title. Archie will thus be known as His Royal Highness Prince Archie of Sussex. Royal experts reveal that unless Charles writes a special letter that will help protect Archie from getting a title, then the young royal will have no choice but to keep the title. authors of Finding Freedom, Emmett Scobie and Caroline Durand, revealed that a source said that the couple was worried about the day Prince Charles becomes king and Harry's children could inherit the titles of prince or princesses. They shared their concerns with Charles